Okay, so this one doesn't look too difficult, but again, if you try to do this just in your head really quickly, it's not as obvious as the ones that you started off in the beginning when we first started with equations. So we have to. This one. Let's just keep with the x's, right? Sorry, I made an y. Let's just keep it x, but it can be any variable. We'll do some other variables later, but just to stick with our themes to get our x alone, because that's what we want to do, right? So this x is also in a complicated relationship. It's being multiplied by the 3 and then 5 is added. So we don't really know what's going on, and we just want the x alone. And we have to go step by step. Now, the first thing is usually I'll take a look at the terms. There are different terms here. There are 2 terms, and I want to see if I can just have all the variables, all the x's on one side and all the numbers, all the constants on the other side. And in order to do that, I basically can just subtract 5 on both sides. So 3x minus 5, or well, 3x plus 5 minus 5 is just going to be 3x. And then 14 minus 5, if I do my calculations correctly, it should be 9. And now I have 3 times x is 9. And in order to undo what's being done with this x, it's being multiplied by 3. So in order to undo that, I have to divide by 3. And the most standard way everybody writes this is just saying, divide by 3 on both sides. And the 3 and the 3 is going to cancel. It's going to reduce to 1. So I'm left with x. And the 3 can go in itself once, and it can go into 9 3 times. So I'm left with 3. So it's just the opposite of what I've done. So let's take a look at our next example. This one is going to be kind of interesting. So again, just brute forcing or guessing numbers is not going to work. So we have to undo what's being done. And what's being done here? Well, this x is being multiplied not just by 3, but by a negative 3. That sounds toxic, but it's definitely not a good thing what's happening there. And then also there's a 7 being added. So I have to undo it. And the easiest and the first part to undo is just getting the 7 alone, freeing that 7, getting it away, unfriend the 7 on both sides. So I'm left with negative 3x. And then negative 2, negative 7. So being in debt of 2 and then adding more debt of 7, that would give me a total debt of 9. Now, this is a bit weird because now I have 3x and I have negative 9. And you probably know already the answer is 3. But how do we get there, right? So there's 2 ways of looking at it. The easiest way and the fastest way and the way that everybody would be doing it is just dividing, not just by a 3 like we did here. We divide by a negative 3 because a negative divided by a negative is going to give me a positive, and then 3 divided by 3 is 1, so x is going to be alone here. And then here we're going to have to divide and do the same thing, which is negative divided by a negative is a positive, and 9 divided by 3 is going to be 3. The other thing that you could have done, which is not really, like, I won't say it's wrong, it's just sometimes we do this, but I can add a 3x on this side and add a 3x on that side. So what would be left here? Well, 3 minus 3x plus 3x would be 0. And then I'd have the negative 9 there plus 3x. Okay, did that help me? No. But then I can add a 9 here and add a 9 there. And then I'd be left with 9 is equal to 3x. So you can see we're basically just swapping it around or looking at the equation from the other way. So I just took this over and took that over and then divide by 3. But like I said, mathematically understanding this would be nice, but it's not necessarily something that you should do or rearrange like this. But anyway, cool. So it's going to go step by step. It's going to get really difficult a bit later, but hopefully just make sure you get these and you understand them.